Guys. Okay, guys, so we're ready to start. Let me share my screen and we can get started. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our first webinar of the year. This one was not planned until I spoke with David probably a little more than a week ago. He said, okay, man, we need to do a webinar. And usually it's hard for me to say yes to partners that I like, so let's do that. I said, okay, man, the hardest part, what is the title? You know, David called Frank and we got the title. So once we have the title, everything else is easy. So all things Amazon. Taxes is not a sexy topic, but you guys you guys have no choice. I mean, you need that before you start doing anything in Europe, for example. Global expansions, everybody would like to expand. PPC, you need to scale and grow. And networking is something that I love to do. And we have somebody who is behind the biggest Amazon show in the industry, Prosper. He will tell us what and how we should do this stuff in 2022. So the main topic of the event would be how to overcome the main blockers and how to expand globally in 2022. Ausch, Pearl from First Choice Shipping will tell about the expansion. I'll talk about taxes. Liz is going to talk about the PPC, and then Brian's going to talk about the Prosper Show, the biggest event in the industry. So here is the agenda. And today, I have plenty of partners who are willing to help out with the events. And of course, I would like to give a big thumbs up to these guys, Seller Tools. They're close partners of mine. They are all-in-one platform for Amazon sellers looking for a niche. They have created the tool to help people who are looking to find new products, how to rank and how to get more reviews. You know, they have a free Google Chrome extension, so check it out. These are the giveaway. This is the giveaway from these guys. ZoneGuru, they're very close partners of mine. You know, the founders, John Tilley, we have done plenty of events with these guys, and they have all-in-one tool set for Amazon sellers featuring 14 tools focused on helping you grow and sales globally. So Seller Tools and ZoneGuru, you need these guys before you need even the taxes. You need to have a product so it can expand globally, and then you would need Pearl, Liz, and eventually once you're the biggest company, now you need to go to Prosper Show so you can meet the other partners and the other people in the industry. And my last sponsor is Andy, Amazon Advocate. He's a close partner of mine. He has a Amazon university in Southeast Asia with more than 5,000 students and has a YouTube channel with a lot of educational videos there. And here is the agenda. I'll start first. VAT compliance in the EU. How to overcome the expansion blocker #1 in Europe. Then Pearl is going to talk about 5 top mistakes sellers make when they're expanding globally. Then Liz is going to take you through the 2021 advertising data, what they got out of that, and how we can predict the data in 2022. And the last part, it will be brand, networking, and education in 2022, learning from the industry. And of course, at the end, we'll have the Q&A session. So if you guys have any questions, if you have to leave, just type them in the Q&A section, type them in the chat, we'll answer them. Eventually, you can watch the recording or wait till the end and we can answer them live. Okay, so taxes, no. What are we doing? Who am I? I'm Nick Penev. I'm the partnership manager for hellotax and the founder of Extreme Power Brand, which is a partnership as a service agency. So what I do for fun is to connect people. Why people pay me? I run the partnership for hellotax and 20 other companies in the industry. So what are we doing here today? We're talking about problems that we're solving. And what are hellotax doing? You know, hellotax was built by 2 ex-Amazon sellers, Christian and Christoph, they were just chatting 6 years ago in a Facebook group, and they're just complaining about the issues with their VAT compliance. And one of them said, okay, man, let's build a software solution to help sellers expand in Europe. And fast forward 6 years from now we're doing webinars, we're helping partners, we're helping sellers, but we're solving the most important issue for sellers expanding in Europe, the VAT compliance. You need to be tax compliant, otherwise you cannot start selling in Europe. And somebody would ask, okay, why Europe? I'm selling in the States, why should I bother about Europe? So if you don't know, it's a huge market. You can get access to 400 plus million customers in 27 markets. Even if you're just selling in the States, you're still a small brand compared to what you could be if you start selling in Europe, for example. It's a huge uncut gem, and it's much easier once you establish yourself. If your competitors are not doing that, by expanding to Europe, you can take them over, and you can just start making much more money, and you can have huge other benefits, like you can have a cost reduction because you'll be sourcing bigger volumes, for example. And that's why you should go to Europe. But of course, there are blockers. What are the main blockers? So language barrier. We speak multiple languages. But don't worry about that. I have plenty good partners who can help out with that. Then the second part is the value-added tax, or the VAT, which is like the sales tax in the States. Then customs and logistics. So these are the main blockers: language, VAT, customs, logistics. And why now is VAT important? What do you need to know about Europe? So in Europe, you need to know 4 things. You need to know what's your VAT liability, from the past and the present, how much you had to pay and how much you need to pay right now. You need to register in 1 or more markets in Europe. You need to have a complete view of your goods movement across the European Union and complete visibility across all your sales channels. So these are the things that you need to know. And somebody would ask, okay, but Europe is big. You said 27 markets. Where should I start? These are the markets based on their complexity. So Poland and Germany and UK are one of the easiest ones in Europe to get started in regards to the documents which are required and how hard it is. And Spain is probably the hardest one because they require original documentation. It takes probably sometimes up to 4 months. But let's say the regular is like 2 months. The maximum is probably 4 or 5 months. But start from UK, Germany, or Poland if you would like to just avoid doing the bureaucracy across all the European markets. And why should we register for VAT? Now it's much easier than before. Before we used to have the so-called distance selling threshold limit. So once you reach that, you need to register in each market where you have reached the threshold. This is no longer valid, and since last year from the introduction with the one-stop shop, so you don't need to worry about that anymore. The second reason is when you store goods in any single market. So right now, you can choose like the UK, you can choose Germany, but in a way, if you store a single product in any market in Europe, you need to have the VAT before you start even storing your first unit. So just remember, if you store anywhere in Europe, you need VAT. As simple as that. Okay, and something that happened just yesterday, we have been doing a lot of webinars since last year about the Brexit and the troubles that sellers are having, but right now, Amazon reopened the so-called EFN program, and right now, sellers who are based in the UK or in the EU would be able to fulfill their orders, to the European EU marketplaces or in the UK, which is a big relief for many sellers. So right now, if you would like to do that, you need to have access to both to the UK and the EU seller central accounts. You need to have FBA offers both in the UK and the EU. You need to be listed in the shipping program and to have the export settings enabled for the UK and for the EU fulfillment. And just to summarize now, what does this mean? You're based in the UK, you have storage there, you can list your products on all the Amazon marketplace in Europe, and you can sell to anybody there and make deliveries from the UK. So it's perfect because It's almost like without Brexit. Of course, you still have some delays, but it's much easier than it used to be for the last year when some sellers went from doing millions per year to like 50,000 per year. So it's a big relief. And right now you can still use the UK as a bridge to Europe. And how can you be eligible for that? I mean, the products that you're selling, they must not exceed 150 euro or 135 British pounds. If they do that, if they exceed this, this value, all the business to business sales, in this case, the seller would need to be import or freighted, and they need to pay them any import VAT on these duties. And Amazon will collect an estimate of this import fees from the customer checkout, and they will remit this amounts to the customer behalf. So just to summarize, if you're non-EU, if you're UK based, you would like to sell in Europe, you simply set up your storage in the UK. You can list your products on the Amazon marketplaces. You can sell to clients there. You just ship them there. Amazon collects the VAT on your behalf, so you don't need to worry about anything. The only thing you need is one VAT in the UK. So as simple as that. So it's a big relief for Amazon sellers. Of course, they just started like yesterday, so there might be some issues, but we don't know yet. We'll understand that in the coming weeks. And what do we offer sellers? I mean, like I said, like the last webinar, when the UK AFN was not available yet, we recommended Germany is the place to start. But right now, if you would like to establish yourself in Europe, you can start either with the UK, if you're an English speaker, or from Germany, because Germany is the biggest market. I think it's second or third with Amazon Japan. So it's a huge market in Europe. You can register either in the UK, Germany, and fulfill your orders from there. Eventually, once you see that you're having a lot of sales in a certain market, then it would make sense to do the VAT registration in the storage in this market so you can do quicker deliveries. But in order to start in Europe, choose the UK or Germany, set up the VAT, and then you can start ABC testing all the other markets, and then you can expand across the European Union. And what we do, we cover the VAT in all the Amazon markets, we do the registration, we do the monthly filings, and that's it. If you're not using Amazon and you would like to do this model, you would need to have the one-stop shop registration, which would allow you to have a single storage location, and you can make deliveries to the whole European Union. But of course, we're not going to go into details right now. So if you guys have any questions, you can get in touch with our team and they can discuss in details how you can do that. So what do we offer in hellotax? I mean, in hellotax, we provide a digital VAT returns and registration software. You simply connect your Amazon account. We pull all the data from the Amazon marketplace that you're selling. We prepare the report and we file them on your behalf. We check and process all the data. We check it with our tax advisors in each market. So we make sure that everything is up to date and it's correct. Of course, we have full control of the VAT payments. We publish the return. You go, you pay, you click that, you view your return, you pay to the tax authority, and that is your only responsibility. And of course, we monitor all the different channels that you're selling on so we can have the accurate data. And our software is free. I mean, I will send you more after the event an email, and you can check it out, you can test it. You don't need to pay for that unless you need to have the VAT registration. I see that some people are raising hands, but let's do the questions in the end, so I can have Pearl and the other guys share their presentation. So I think I was a little quick. I'm not sure if you guys get it, but just to summarize, expanding in Europe. Good news is you can still use the UK. So if you would like to expand in Europe, choose UK or Germany, establish a single storage at the beginning, start selling and delivering across the EU. Once you see that you're selling great in any market, you establish the local storage there and you can make quicker deliveries, you can lower your pricing, but don't just go for the whole European Union. That would be crazy. We will be making a lot of money, but don't do that. That's a mistake. I used to be an e-commerce seller for 10 years in the European Union. I can tell you, do it. It's very similar to what Liz is going to talk about with the PPC. ABC test. Start small, scale and expand across the union. And like I said, no, we cover the VAT, but VAT is just one part of the equation. The one of the biggest challenges after that is logistics, because let's say you set up the VAT application, you're waiting for the VAT. It takes 2-3 months. So what do you do in the meantime? You call Pearl and you said, okay, where is my shipment? How can I expand to Europe? So, hey guys, I think now it's Pearl's turn. She'll tell you what they're doing about the expansion, not only for Europe, because they're doing the global expansion. And I think that's the next blocker for global expansion. So thank you, Pearl. Up to you now.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for having me. So I like to call ourselves I wouldn't say logistics providers, much more than that. I would say we're sort of consultants for people looking to expand globally. When it comes to global expansion, people sort of don't know where to begin. It's very, very overwhelming. I like to say, like, when I'm traveling overseas, I'm on the plane and the stewardess comes over and hands me this customs form to fill out. And, I usually turn to the person on the right or left and I'm like, any clue what to fill out here? It might be in a different language. I don't know how much I'm supposed to declare, what's inside, my luggage, things like that. So it's very overwhelming whenever you're traveling overseas. And it's the same idea as when your boxes or your shipments are going overseas. What I want to focus on today is the 3 biggest updates that we've seen over the last couple months that pertain especially for global expansion, for sellers that are looking to expand, or some of the hardships people really had when it came to the inventory limit. So as everybody knows, Amazon pretty much shut down FBA operations for a good 5 months. We internally have seen a 50% drop when it came to shipping. And, with that, a lot of sellers obviously were losing their businesses overnight. So these are some of the things that I put together on what you could use as you go forward, the different things that have changed over the year to be able to save yourself on cash flow. So I do want to go and continue a little bit about your point on, the new change that Amazon made with opening up again the FN option. So just to give our viewers an understanding what Nick was relating to, basically what Amazon had pre-Brexit was the option of either the Pan EU or the EFN, which basically was you had an option of either shipping your inventory, let's say, to the UK, and then from there, Amazon would take your inventory and disperse it just like they do in the US, a little bit to Germany, a little bit to Spain, France, Italy, Poland now. And what that did was it had your packages closer to your buyer, so automatically your listings were better optimized. So with that, obviously, you're going to get better sales. Faster shipping turnaround time for your clients, which all around, obviously, that's going to cause better optimization for you. Now with Brexit, obviously Pan EU became a non-option because of now being a border between the UK and the EU, right? So right now the Pan EU option is not available. The EFN option, though, which they also suspended, which basically was shipping your inventory to the UK, and then from there, a buyer would buy, let's say, from Germany. Amazon would then go ahead and fulfill it from their UK facilities and ship it to Germany, was suspended. But now Amazon, just so you know, Nick, it's been in beta for a good year now. This has been something that has been rolled out to a lot of our clients over the last year. But I do want to paint a little bit of a different picture than you've painted, just to give people the realities of this program. So, and this is data coming directly from Amazon. We do have a great relationship with them, and I'm able to take advantage of that and get real data for you. So with this program, it's a great program, such as like the NARF program. So if any of the listeners are listening and are familiar with the NARF program basically is for Canada, where Amazon takes inventory from the US and somebody places an order from Canada, they'll go ahead and fulfill it. The only issue is that it's very costly for the seller and it's costly for the receiver because they have to take into account the taxes, and it's also a longer delivery time. It's not like Amazon is fulfilling it from a closer facility, such as like in Canada, right? That's closer to the buyer. Same exact thing now with the EFN program. So it's a great tool to use to get to know who your buyers are. So if you're just starting out, or if you gave up when Brexit happened because of all the compliance and all the complexities, and you're like, this is not worth it for me. And I just want to add that the ones that stayed in the game and continued and persisted forward, those are actually killing it, because obviously the market became less saturated. We saw that very, very clearly. Less people were shipping there. So the point is that with the EFN program, it's great to test it out, but you definitely should know that you're going to see at least 30% less in sales this way. And the best way to get to your customer is shipping it directly. But like Nick said, yes, you are going to have to be registered for taxes in those countries, like in Germany. And it's obviously a lot more, tedious and time consuming. But when you do use this EFN tool and see where your buyers are, your ultimate goal is to get your product to those fulfillment centers, and you're going to see better optimization and better conversion without a doubt. So that's that. I do want to bring up another point about PVA, postponed VAT accounting. I know a lot of sellers don't know about this. This is something huge that has happened last year for the UK, which basically means that instead of having to pay for your import taxes when shipping, you only have to pay for it when you're filing your taxes. So this helps tremendously with the cash flow, especially now with sellers that haven't been able to ship for a while and have containers on the water where literally have their caches in those containers. So this is something that the laws have changed, and it's tremendously beneficial for you when you're shipping to the UK. Most carriers are doing it automatically. If not, speak to your carrier about setting it up for you. So you do not need to pay any import taxes, VAT. I just want to mention that does not include duties. Duties is always upfront, but duties is always a minimal fee. So that's something you're not going to have to pay upfront. And very recently, now in January of this year, it was implemented for France as well, which is huge because people are using France now as a gateway instead of the Germany, because shipping directly to Germany is sort of a nightmare. And I'm sure, I love seeing people's comments. So if you could let me know about your stories shipping to Germany, that would be great. But unfortunately, it's been something that has been a sort of a nightmare. So I would say speak to your logistics providers about PVA for the UK and France. It's also available for the Netherlands, which we highly recommend shipping through when you're trying to get into Germany, just because it's a great gateway. Very similar customs experiences, such as shipping through the UK. They're not as tedious or detailed, and it's a much simpler, smoother process. The last thing, I promised Nick, I'm going to try to keep it short. So this is going to be my last point. I want to discuss the difference between shipping by air or ocean. So there's this big misconception that shipping by air is way more expensive. And that's true when you're comparing dollars to dollar, right? But especially when you're starting out, I would highly recommend getting yourself educated between shipping by air or sea, what would work for you. So traditionally for shipping by sea, you're going to have to ship a lot more. You're going to have to ship at least a pallet or two or a container, depending on the level of selling that you're doing. But when you're selling in a new market, it does take at least 6 months until you're going to get optimized. It takes a while. So give yourself the time needed and rather ship slightly less or way less. And it might be a little bit more expensive, but just have in mind, you're not going to have the storage cost, right? Of if it stays at Amazon and it's not selling. And number two, you don't have cash flow that's just bootstrapped on the ocean. There's a lot of things, going on in the supply chain right now. Everybody knows what's going on, especially they're speaking about, the Russia war that's going on, Russia and Ukraine. That might even, delay things even further with sea. So have in mind that you want to educate yourself the best way, especially when launching in a new global market, that your costs between air and ocean, and make a decision based on that. And one more point with air is that it does get there way faster. So you don't give yourself all that time of 3 months on average right now to get, let's say, a container into a new market to see, is this going to work or not? With air, you have 2 to 4 days, 2 to 6 days before you get yourself that chance of, oh, it's checked into Amazon. Will this actually work for me? So that's that. So that's it I have to share with the audience. And if anybody has any questions in the Q&A, more than happy to
Yeah.
Give any information I can.
Actually, I think you can continue because it's really curious for me, but I guess we have plenty of questions. So this time we're gonna talk less and answer more questions. But
Sure.
like you guys saw, the program that just get started by Amazon, it has been tested for a year. So like Pearl said, if you continue selling in the meantime, you have a huge success right now, but you might have less sales than what you used to have before Brexit. But if you start selling right now, it's still a huge opportunity in the EU. So right now, let's say we're just talking about the story of a seller. The seller has the VAT, they have their goods in Europe, they're selling. So what should we do next? I mean, somebody needs to see what I'm selling. So here is what Liz and Teikametrics are doing. They're gonna create visibility for your products, because if people don't see, you might have the best product, but nobody's gonna buy that. So thank you for joining, Liz. Tell us what you guys do. I know I'm curious, just to see how we
Well,
can help our imaginary, brand owner to expand.
So, excuse me. Teikametrics helps you optimize your advertising on Amazon, Walmart, and eBay so that you can make smarter decisions about your advertising, but also we help you figure out your advertising strategy. We've got software, we've got managed services. So it all depends on what you want to spend, how you want to work your strategy. But we use AI and data science to pull in all the information you need to make good decisions about your advertising. I was having a discussion with somebody. The Ecom Cooperative put on a great dinner this past Monday in Teaneck, New Jersey. And I was having a conversation with somebody who recently joined us and said, I'm worried that once I hit my ACOS goal, you're going to try to talk me into spending more money. And I could go on all day about how ACOS and TACO should not be like the final defined thing that you measure your advertising success against, because it obviously depends on goals, but we're not going to talk about goals today. What I wanted to talk today, we did a deep dive into 2020 versus year over year 2021, and then sort of looked forward to what we can predict about 2022. And it was a tricky project for us to undergo because obviously 2020 was an unprecedented time for e-commerce. And 2021 was almost just as weird, but it's looking like 2022 is shaping up to be super weird too. So who knows what's going to happen, but we did look at things like CPCs, conversion rates, that kind of stuff. 2020 compared to 2021. So CPC is cost per click, and change is usually driven by two things: an increase in competition. So as competition rises, Amazon's second price auction results in the likelihood that the second price is higher than it was in the past. And that's just because the number of sellers and brand owners that are competing for the same keywords is higher. So we did see a rise in cost per click, but we saw a corresponding rise in conversion rate, which makes a lot of sense. And that's the way it's supposed to work. But COVID-19 caused an uptick in people buying e-commerce goods that would have normally been buying in brick and mortar. So like the ever elusive paper towels of 2020, and people were spending lots and lots of money to buy them merchant fulfilled on Amazon because they couldn't find them in any local stores if they were willing to go to a local store, which not a lot of people were. So we did see a rise in CPCs, but we did see a rise in conversion rates. And 2021 was stronger than we thought it would be. So looking forward to 2022, we do think that CPCs are going to continue to rise. But I did a presentation with Kevin Sanderson's virtual, that was a lot of fun actually, but there was a lot of information, a lot of speakers, but I used the analogy of, I come from the old SEO days of when we were trying to win on Google, right? So this was before anybody was trying to really win on Amazon, or not as many people were trying to win on Amazon. And you think about the rise of Google in the old days and how CPCs rose and everybody had to kind of pivot to meet those. There was really nothing you could do about it. We've seen that in older marketplaces, and as Amazon grows and changes and gets older and more mature, I think you can expect advertising to be a little bit more expensive, which makes me the harbinger of bad news. But, Amazon is a pay-to-play platform now. I did a presentation not too long ago about diversifying your ad types, because we did see some surprising trends in sponsored video, sponsored display versus DSP in terms of engagement year over year. So if you are brand registered, which hopefully you are, and you've got access to all of Amazon's ad tools on ad products on Amazon.com, I think that you should be playing with all of them to see what serves you the best. But obviously don't blow your budget on DSP if you don't think you're ready for that or anything like that. But I do think that it's not a good strategy to just stick to sponsored product ads if you're really trying to grow your brand awareness or you're trying to get people more toward the top of the funnel. So obviously understanding your revenue goals is important, but you want to think about brand engagement, especially as competition continues to rise. I don't want to take a whole lot of time. I've got a link that we can share to our benchmark report that shows you those CPCs across categories. So like the biggest one, the biggest rise we saw was in patio, lawn, and garden, obviously, because people were home. They were still home in 2021. They're doing stuff around the house instead of going out and spending money. But it breaks it down by product category. And then we've got some good data on engagement per ad type that I think you'll enjoy. And then a little bit about CPCs and their increase and decrease across different Amazon international marketplaces. So we do advertising on many of the international marketplaces, and we did see an increase in conversion rate and sort of a decrease in CPC pretty much everywhere, pretty significant actually. And well, I mean, conversion rate wasn't really great a lot of places. I will say that it was surprising to see that Australia is really rocking and rolling. But if you talk to Pearl and you talk to Yana from YLT Translations, you know that Australia is really rocking and rolling. It's a great marketplace. So looking ahead in that respect, like going off of what Pearl said, going off of what Nick said, when you're looking at international marketplaces, think about what your ad strategy is going to be there. Obviously, your listings have to be translated properly, interpreted properly, and optimized. But once you start your ad spend, you've got a lot of opportunity on international marketplaces because the competition isn't quite as high as it is on Amazon.com. And if a particular marketplace is missing an ad product, it's not too long before it's going to happen there. So I would keep an eye on, and I've got some data on that I can send Nick for the show notes, but I've got some information on what ad products are available in which marketplace. So I can send that out to people. But if you keep an eye of when it's going to launch, then you've got a huge opportunity to get on the ground floor with that particular type of ad product on that marketplace. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know, Pearl, what you've heard, but I've heard rumors that there might be more marketplaces added in 2022. So
I'm under NDA, so I can't say much, but there's, things coming up.
At least 2, maybe more. And it's pretty exciting. So I think keeping an eye on that and listening to the people who tell you how to actually get started on those marketplaces is the first place you need to go. And then when you need to think about your optimization strategy, you need to think about all of that stuff, what product photos are going to be better. But then come to us and we'll help you figure out your ad strategy for that marketplace too. And you can talk to us in booth 223 at Prosper Show, passing it over to Brian Anderson. Sorry, Nick, I stole your thunder.
I was just mesmerized. I was what you just said. I heard Prosper only.
No, not at all. Well, she was segueing to Prosper Show. Teikametrics is going to be ubiquitous.
Yeah, I know.
Certainly sponsoring, and
everybody was inviting me to Prosper. So guys, here we have Brian Anderson. He's the guy behind Prosper Show, and I've never gone to any in-person events, but 20 partners told me this year, okay, Nick, why not at Prosper? And I just did my own research. I asked people, I don't make assumptions. Okay, tell me about Prosper now. Why should I go there? And they told me, this is the only event in the Amazon space that makes sense. Okay, I said, okay, what is the ROI? I asked a partner, and they told me, it's probably, you put like 10K, you get 100K out of that. So it's a 10 multiple. So, and this is the place to be, guys. No, this year I'm not gonna go because my wife chose another vacation spot for March, but next year I'm gonna be there, I guarantee. And here Brian is gonna tell why this kind Prosper is the best show, what they're doing there, because networking is the key. If I don't have something, I have a good partner, and the best place to find partners if you're seller or to find client or whatever is the Prosper show. So thank you for joining the event, Brian, and tell us about Prosper show. I'm really curious. I'm like any of the other attendees. I would like to listen.
And my background, I've never sold on Amazon. So I want to give due credit to Liz, as well as you can see behind me, the advisory council members who really inform the agenda. They're critical to making sure that we are on target for meeting seller needs. And identifying the right people that are out there. I'm going to talk about Prosper, but I'm also, as I mentioned, not a seller. My background is in education. So with an emphasis in professional development. So throughout, I'm going to drop some tips that whether you're coming to Prosper Show or not, I hope will be of value to you who are watching this. First, I will talk about Prosper because that kind of puts me in a little bit of context here. I've got a great advisory council. We start with Prosper Show is known, if for nothing else, being all white hat and really filtering out the noise in the marketplace. Why should you choose Prosper? We start with the agenda first before we ever invite a speaker. There are great speakers I could go through and I could invite everybody who I know is a great speaker and kind of figure out what they could speak on. What we start out though is, what do sellers need to know and be able to do? As any teacher would in a classroom, what do they need to know and be able to do to thrive? That's the first, those are the questions we start. And that is the foundation upon which we build our agenda. If you are looking at events, you got to choose the right, there's a process for choosing your event, for being successful at going to an event. You got to choose the event, you got to prepare for the event, you got to execute, and you got to follow up. So as you're choosing your event, is Prosper right for you? Maybe not. If you're an aspiring or beginner seller, if you come to our event, you can come to our event. You're welcome, but manage your expectations. If you come to our event and you understand everything going on in every session, then I haven't done my job. It's for advanced sellers. It's something that a lot of people graduate to. So choose the right one that looks like they are going to do right by you and that fits what you want to accomplish. Make sure they have networking in there. I mean, we've got a great agenda, but we've also have a lot of new networking opportunities, some of which we piloted last year and we're really folding out. The think tank roundtable carousel networking activity is we offered it as a pilot last year in the morning, and it filled up. It filled up fast and it exceeded expectations in terms of what people wanted to get out of it. We're doing 4 of them this year. We have a great matchmaking app, an event app that has an algorithm that people can get matched up to people without any effort, but they can also use the searchable database. There's a speakers corner. We're having office hours for speakers on the exhibit hall floor. So if you didn't get a chance to talk to them during those 3 minutes you had between transitions, or because there was a long line, you get a chance to do that there. Look for an event that has a solid agenda, that doesn't look like it's just to recap, it doesn't look like it's informed by who's sponsoring, and that's therefore going to be what the content is, and that doesn't have the networking opportunities that you thrive on or that you want. If you're a beginner seller and you're coming to this, manage your expectations. Yeah, you're not going to follow all the sessions, but you're going to be talking to people who are, in the know. Most of our sellers, well, I can tell you this: our sellers are 78% are making $1 million or more, 24% are doing 10 million or more in annual revenue. So we've got a pretty successful crowd. In terms of coming, once you've selected your event, tell your colleagues, bring your colleagues. If you are sending someone, make sure they know if you want them to come back and make a difference, if they're in-house, say, I want to report back. What are you going to do when you come back? We want to hear from you 2 weeks after, or if you're telling your colleagues, hey, I'm going to this event. They're going to hold you accountable, and hold yourself accountable too. Set yourself a goal. I want to come back with 1 or 2 practices based on whatever you want to accomplish, whatever you're struggling with, whatever's keeping you up. Our 3 big themes this year: diversifying your advertising strategy, diversifying your sales platforms, and figuring out this fulfillment mess. And basically, I just think went around to all three of your purviews, your expertise. Yeah, we've got a great event that really focuses on those things. I encourage everybody to look at this, the tracks that we have. They're very outcome based. Sell internationally is a big one. Pearl will be presenting in that with one of Ed Cellini and a number of other people. We have a drive traffic track. Liz will be a panelist in that track. And we have a sell beyond Amazon track. We have a build your brand track, as Liz was mentioning. It's not just about driving traffic these days. It's not just about selling on other marketplaces. It's about brand engagement and how you're getting that established, how you're getting that out there. I should also put out there, I've seen a few people ask about Walmart down here. Our sell beyond Amazon isn't just about Walmart or Target or any. It's also about, we have a direct to consumer session. We have a session on brick and mortar. We have a session on enterprise marketplaces. Of course, we have 2 sessions on Walmart, including a representative from Walmart who's expected to confirm and expected to be there on one of the panels. So plan ahead. Take a look at the agenda before you go to the event. What do you want to? Don't find yourself in the middle of, between sessions trying to figure out which one you're going to, because you could be talking, you could be walking and talking at the same time. Plan your booth visits. I mean, I heard from people, you should really make it, you should really have a better directory on the floor. Yeah, we should have a better directory, but really you should have a list of who you're going to see and where they are. If you've mapped it out, the exhibit hall floor is pretty big. We have 144 exhibitors this year, which is, I think 100 tops our max that we had previously, which is 117. So it's going to be a even bigger event, not just because we're at a bigger facility, we just have more people coming this year. And for ours, as well as for probably others, our matchmaking feature opens up the week before the event. So that's next week. So if you're planning on going to an event, pay attention to what features it has that you might want to sign up for ahead of time. That includes matchmaking. Get your profile set up, get out there, get meeting people, set up those appointments that you can, especially at Prosper. You can invite people to meet with you or accept their invitations. And figure out, are there special events? We're offering an additional one, a pool party this year. No charge. Come along. If you're going to another event, sometimes they charge. It's worth it. If you think if you're going there for the networking. And I'd say also execute after you're preparing. Execute. If you're going to a session, don't just sit with your colleagues and have conversations with them. You can do that back wherever you are. So if you're coming from in-house, from an established brand, mix it up, meet new people. If you get a business card, courtesy is, you look at it before you put it in your wallet. So be courteous, but pull it back out of your wallet. If not, like after that meeting, and jot a couple notes. Because if you're anything like me, I've had stacks of business cards and I have no idea who these people are. So learning from my own mistakes, if I don't do it right afterwards, just a couple notes, do it that night. When you get back, like, this, if I jot a couple of things now, that's going to be priceless to you 6 months from now. And or what I've also found myself doing is I'll email them right afterwards. Hey, it was great meeting you. We had a quick chat about this. Looking forward to talking to you in the future. Now I can go back to my emails if you search like that. There's a lot of ways you can be successful at networking, but really, if you're talking to the right people, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to follow up with them, if you're not doing something along those lines. So execution is a very big part of it. Take notes. Even if they say the slides and the videos are going to be available, it might not be till 5-6 weeks later. And by then, if you're counting on that, by then you've moved on. You want to take notes. Write down what is the 1 or 2 best practices that you're going to replicate then and there. Put it right there in the cover. And then act on it. But take notes while you're going. Don't miss the content, but take enough notes so that you can remember. And then know. I've talked to people. What was your favorite part about Prosper? They don't remember. I'll have to go back. I was going to go back and look at the videos. Sometimes it's great if they do that. But let's be honest. You get back. What is the expression? If you have an alligator problem, it's hard to solve it, which is if you're up to your neck in alligators, who's got time to drain the swamp? You get up to your neck in alligators when you get back there, but do take the time to to drain the swamp, take the time to look at the bigger picture. Are you paying attention to the right things? What are other people paying attention to when you're networking? You might by happenstance not take advantage of the matchmaking app and have a great conversation with someone. Hey, can you introduce me to someone else that you talk to? I really respect your opinion. So who do you think I should talk to about this? Ask people those kind of questions too. Everyone has something to offer in a conversation. Some people have more. And it's a matter of being able to find this. So I should talk a little bit more about Prosper, but there might be some questions that come up. Liz, I'd invite you to add anything that you would, as a very instrumental member of the advisory council. You've had a lot of input and impact on this agenda.
I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun to put this together. And I feel like I was, again, at dinner on Monday night, having a conversation with someone who said they weren't coming to Prosper because they wish that Prosper had more content than just about Amazon. And I was like, well, let me tell you what. We've got whole sessions on niche marketplaces, whole sections on brick and mortar, sections on Walmart. It's really becoming an e-commerce conference rather than just an Amazon conference, because that's the way the world is turning and that's the way everything is evolving. So that's been super exciting to see that come to life and to know that it's less than 2 weeks away. And I wish that I could be in 4 places at once every single minute, because I'm going to be hanging out in the drive traffic area, because that's what Teikametrics is sponsoring. But I do think that this is going to be the best year for content we've had yet.
And to your point, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have 4 concurrent sessions taking place. This is 47 sessions this year, as compared to 3 concurrent sessions taking place simultaneously. We're up to 4 in our breakouts.
Well, I had a seller friend come last year, and it's 2 guys that co-own a company, and they brought a third so that one person could go to each track and take notes and record what was being said so that they could get the most value out of the conference. So this year, if you were thinking about sending 3, you got to send 4 this year, because there are 4 different tracks, but the only 2-day track is drive traffic.
And you might think, oh, I'll just go to this one and I'll watch the video later. Don't kid yourself. I mean, you're going to run out of the steam if you think you're going to go back and watch the other 3 concurrent session videos. It's 6 weeks later when they're available. That's great. You can do that, and I encourage people to do that. But bring colleagues. It makes it that much more of a cathartic event.
Well, I know we're supposed to talk about education and how valuable it is, and it is, but don't forget that this is also the very best opportunity in the industry for networking. So if you plan on watching the videos later, you're missing out on not only like the opportunity to walk the show floor and talk to people about what they offer without having to call them up and get a demo, but you're also missing out on lots of parties. This year has got so many parties. It's just crazy. So there's so many things to do.
Yep.
And I'll actually, Nick, give you a link to Pearl and I and a couple other partners are putting on an after party on Monday night. So if you want to apply for a ticket for that, that's something that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got flooded with like events this week. Several parts. How can you can invite your best partners? And one of them is okay, man. It's too early on Sunday. Nobody's still at Las Vegas. But anyways, I mean, I think we had a good event. We have plenty of questions. So one question for Brent: how many, I guess, companies are gonna have booths at the Prosper show?
144 booths
Okay.
as of now. We may be adding a few more. Who knows? May bump out at 150, but that's a huge increase over I think our 117 from last year. And last year was a record-setting year as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll have. And I should also mention 80 speakers, 30 of whom are sellers. In fact, it's not when Pearl presents. Pearl's presenting with a Dayon co-presentation with one of her one of your clients, I believe, Ed Cellini, who's a seller.
Yes,
and it's on leveraging lessons learned to overcome logistical and operational challenges for international success. So if you didn't get enough from Pearl here, there's more to come. But Pearl, please, you're about to say.
I just want to say that after I spoke with Ed, I live and breathe logistics for global expansion, but the amount of knowledge I learned just from preparing for the session has blown me away. People are going to be floored by that. I am super excited. Like, I'm giving him the mic. He's going to absolutely slay this presentation. So the whole idea of bringing sellers into it has been the most brilliant concept, because I would say, we attend a lot of shows a year as, sponsors, but you very, very seldom see a show where so many sellers are willing to come out and, give you data, tell you where they struggled and how they overcame it, what you should look out for. These things it's absolutely priceless. You don't see it at other shows. And for me, I'm very excited for that part. So I'm super excited for the opportunity to be able to bring you Ed and, Brian for initiating that.
Okay, guys. So just to summarize, if you're a seller, if you're not sure how to grow, how to scale, how to solve all your challenges, go to Prosper. You can combine that with few partners in the meantime. So I think you guys almost convinced me. Everybody's talking about Prosper C, and I don't have issues with networking with people. So I already have a plan how to obviously get in touch with more people. And one thing which Brian says, now when you meet people, watch what they're doing, watch the presentations, and it's good to go and get something from the mic to have an action plan. Okay, what do I need? If you have a plan, probably you get all your questions answered, because 150 companies know. If you have a challenge, it's very likely that some of these guys are gonna have a solution for that. So, and I think we have several questions, so let's start with those. The first question is from Nikki Lee. Can you please explain how the OSS works again? Is it like the Panio? Also, is the 10K euro yearly minimum threshold, or that's a monthly sale? So I'll answer that wife. So the one-stop shop it works the following way. Once you hit 10,000 euro from your first sale, you have the option to opt in for the one-stop shop. Once you enable that, you'll be able to have like a single storage location. If you're non-EU, you choose a location in Europe, you enable the one-stop shop, and you can make deliveries to all the European countries with the consideration that you don't store goods in any other market. So instead of having like multiple VAT registrations, you have single storage location, you register for the one-stop shop, you do the quarterly one-stop shop filings, and you deliver to the whole European Union. This is not per year. Once you hit 10,000 euros, you can opt in for that. If you don't, then you would need to follow the threshold in each market and do multiple VAT registrations. So either do the one-stop shop or you do the multiple VAT registrations. But in a way, if you're like a non-EU company, Amazon is going to collect the VAT on your behalf, and you can still do that without registering the VAT. So the one-stop shop is used for FBM sellers who don't use the FBA, or like Shopify sellers, for example. But like I said, no, this is the one-stop shop has been enabled to make it easier for EU-based or non-EU-based to expand across the union without doing multiple VAT registrations. So this is how it works. Question from Ovidio. Hi, what about an EU seller wishing to sell in the UK? What is it required? Is the same requirement like for UK seller selling to the EU? So you can sell in the UK, you can use the EFN and make deliveries. You just need to have the listings enabled in both markets, in the UK and the one in the EU. Question from Mahmoud. Is distance selling threshold now 10,000 euro per country post introduction of the one-stop shop? No, the 10,000 is for the whole European Union. Okay, another question from Wasim. Do you know how to rank the Walmart products? Okay, that's not for me. I'm not sure if anybody can answer that, by the way.
So we do Walmart advertising optimization, and if you're just launching on Walmart, we can help you come up with a launch strategy for advertising with Amazon, with Walmart's own ad products. So we do have an API integration. We also talk to Walmart pretty often about strategy and brand success on the Walmart platform. So get in touch with me and I will get you in touch with the people that know the things about Walmart at Teikametrics.
Okay, thanks, Liz. Another question for you from Haim. At least, can you share the doc with the increase in the cost per category?
Yes, so Nick put the link to our benchmark report into the chat, but we can put it in again and we can put it in the show notes. But we've got our benchmark report that's got all of that data, the 2020 versus 2021 across different product categories. So if we can pop that link in there, that's free content for you. I also have a post about international advertising, but Amazon has updated its little images that show what ads are available where, and they finally added Poland to like half of the ad products, but not all of them for some reason. I don't know why, but we're going to be updating that, and I'll get that out to this audience too. So if you need that, you can email me. My email address, I'll send it to everyone right now. It's Teikametrics.com. I guess everybody saw that video that Cameron did at Last Prosper where he's got a Teikametrics shirt on and he's trying to get people to pronounce it. That's like my favorite thing on our YouTube
Okay,
channel.
Liz, thank you. And for all the attendants, we're going to send an email with the recording, with the report and everything. So whatever we covered here, you have it later in the email. So don't worry about it. You're not going to lose it. So question, this one is for Pearl from Nikki. Can you ship to Germany via the Netherlands?
Yes, so I answered her actually privately. So we absolutely could do that. We do that through small parcel via the USA. So just feel free to email me. I'll put my email into the chat box and we could definitely help make it happen. It's a 5 to 7 day service into Amazon Germany. And again, like I said earlier, this mitigates all the back and forth with German customs, where basically what happens with this option is it makes a formal clearance already in the Netherlands and the authorities clear it. It doesn't even leave the truck from the carrier. It just literally goes and continues into Germany from there, which obviously from there, there's no customs anymore. So, you know, just the easy way to do it. So we could definitely help you, and I'll put in my email here so you can reach out.
Thanks, Pearl. Another question from Natasha. We send product to Asia for Amazon, but required VAT. How do we begin this process as our business is growing rapidly? We don't cover Asia, but I'm sure, but they have several partners who do that. So if Pearl knows how it works,
Yeah,
you can share that information.
yeah. So I actually answered her privately as well that
Okay.
starting out on Singapore, you don't need a VAT registration. There is a threshold, and I told her just to message me and I'll see if I could, you know, help her out with our Amazon counterparts and see exactly what the issue is there and see if we could help you.
Okay, let me see if we have more questions. Okay, this from him. Haim, Pearl, does your company help your customers understand the tariff costs per country? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a free tool for that. We have our duty and tax calculator on our software where you could look it up and see exactly what to expect in terms of taxes before shipping it out. Very, very important to know your costs so you could price properly on Amazon instead of losing money. So yes, we could definitely help you with that.
Okay. Okay, guys, more questions? I don't see. We're fast like cowboys in the Western movies, you know? Fast presentation, fast questions. Hey, David, you can show yourself. Yeah, I think David is doing something. Okay, so we can talk a little bit more about the giveaways because we're done ahead of schedule. So let's do that. Just give me a second. So for everybody who is still here with us, you know, I would like to thank all the speakers and all the sponsors because we have over 8,000 in giveaways. So I'll start with hellotax. So what we do, we're going to give away 6 free VAT registration worth over $2,000 for Europe. So if you're considering selling in Europe, I'll send an email with the information. Get in touch with me and I'll hook you up with our consultants so they can let you know how you can get started in Europe. Amazon Experts, which is a company where the founder is David Dayon, the founder of the Ecom Cooperative and co-organizer of the show. They're going to give away a listing optimization of almost 2,000 value and a creative percent to for a free lifestyle photo shoot for one product, which the value is 1,500 euro. First choice shipping and Peru, you're gonna give away a free NRI registration for Canada. The amount for that is $349. Teikametrics are gonna provide the free Teikametrics swag, value 300 euro, and a free advertising code with their new opportunity analyzer. The value for that is 1,500 euro. And one thing that a lot of people would like to get is a free ticket for the Prosper show. In order to qualify, you need to be a seller. The value is $949. So whoever emails Brian, he'll get the ticket. So as simple as that. We'll send you have his email already, so go ahead and do that. Be the first one. And also we had few sponsors, like I said, Seller Tools and Troy Johnson's. Troy Johnson, they have a free access for their Chrome extension, so check it out. You can also get in touch with Zongur and Jonathan Tilley, the founder there, for 2 free listing optimization sessions worth 150 euro each. I'll share the email after that and the details. And I think that's it with the giveaways. We cannot do the Wheel of Fortune because Europe, we suck at some stuff, but anyways, we'll send an email and you can claim all the giveaways. So let me see, we have some questions for
the giveaways. They're sending emails. I'm going to ask if you email me that you include the word prize in the subject, PRIZE. Thank you. I'm getting a lot of email these days, as you can imagine. I don't want to overlook yours, and it is if you're a seller, and that will be for a conference pass this year for a seller. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we have some questions also in the meantime, but Per is answering that. What is Brian email? Okay, Brian is gonna.
Yeah, I'll put right in there.
Okay, yep. Brian is gonna answer that. Again, yes, we'll send you an email with the recording. You have all the information there, the video recording, the giveaways, and how to get in touch with the speakers and the sponsors. Okay, here is Brian's email. Okay, I think we have everything. Okay.
I just want to add, guys, to claim the free image optimization from Amazon Experts or the free photo shoot from Creative%, all you got to do is email joe@theecomcooperative.com. I just put the email in the comments.
Yeah, and I will include that in the thank you email if somebody is not attending, because we have plenty of people who also registered who have that. Let me just copy it. Because it's good to get free education, but if you get some great giveaways, so it's even better. So.
And to claim your Teikametrics prize, email me at ldowning@teikametrics.com. I have to run, but thank you, everybody. And if anybody has questions for me, great to see you, Nick, Pearl, Brian.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Pearl.
Thank
you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Pearl.
Yeah,
Nick, you're the best. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for having us. Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.